You've used ChatGPT. Maybe you use it every day. But if someone asked you how it actually works, like what's happening under the hood, you'd probably wave your hand and say, I don't know, magic? This video fixes that. No jargon, no computer science degree required. Let's go. Before ChatGPT could answer a single question, it had to learn. And the way it learned was by reading. Not 10 books, not 1,000 books. Imagine every website, every article, every book that's ever been digitized, every Reddit argument, every cooking blog, every Wikipedia page, every news story, billions of documents, all fed into one system. Think of it like this. Imagine hiring someone whose only job for 5 years was to read the entire internet. Nothing else. Just read. They didn't watch TV. They didn't go outside. They just read, day and night, for years. By the end of that, they'd have absorbed an almost incomprehensible amount of human knowledge and human language. How people explain things, how conversations flow. What usually comes after the capital of France is. That's the foundation of ChatGPT. It didn't learn from experience. It didn't go to school. It learned by reading more text than any human could read in 100 lifetimes. And here's the key thing it was learning. Not facts, exactly. It was learning patterns. How words and ideas fit together. What tends to follow what. That's the engine everything else runs on. Okay, here's the core idea. And once you get this, the whole thing clicks. ChatGPT is, at its heart, a prediction machine. Every single word it writes is a prediction of what word should come next. That's it. That's the trick. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds too simple. But here's the baseball analogy. Imagine a pitcher who has watched 1 million baseball games. Every at-bat, every count, every situation. After watching that much baseball, they can predict with incredible accuracy. This batter, in this situation, on a 2-2 count, is probably looking for a fastball inside. They're not reading the batter's mind. They're pattern matching against 1 million similar situations they've already seen. ChatGPT does the same thing with language. You type, "The best thing about a summer evening is," and it's running through every pattern it ever absorbed to predict the most fitting next word. Then the word after that. Then the one after that. One word at a time, thousands of times per second. And because it read so much good writing, so much careful explanation, so much human conversation, those predictions end up sounding remarkably smart. It's not thinking, it's predicting. But predicting at a scale so enormous, it looks like thinking. Here's where people get confused. If ChatGPT is just predicting words, why can it write a cover letter, explain a tax form, or debug your kid's homework? Here's the analogy that makes this click. Think of a really experienced chef. They didn't memorize a single recipe for every dish on earth. What they learned, through thousands of hours of cooking, is the underlying logic of food. How flavors work together. What techniques apply when. So when you hand them a weird combination of ingredients from your fridge, they don't panic. They apply everything they know and come up with something that works. ChatGPT does the same with language. It learned so much about how humans explain, argue, solve, and communicate that it can apply those patterns to almost any new request. Your specific question is almost certainly one it's never seen before, but it's seen 10,000 questions shaped like yours. So it knows how an answer to that kind of question is supposed to go. This is also why it can write in different tones. Formal, casual, funny, like a pirate if you ask nicely. It absorbed all of those styles from its reading so it can blend and apply them on demand. Now, for the part nobody tells you in the ads. ChatGPT gets things wrong. Not occasionally. It can get things wrong with breathtaking confidence. And understanding why changes how you use it forever. Picture the smartest, most well-read person at a dinner party. They've read everything. They're charming, they're fluent on almost any subject. You ask them a question and they answer without hesitation. Sometimes they're exactly right. And sometimes, without missing a beat, with the exact same confident tone, they're completely making it up. The thing is, they're not lying. They genuinely don't know the difference. ChatGPT has the same problem. It doesn't actually know what's true. It knows what sounds right based on patterns. It knows how a sentence about Abraham Lincoln's birthday should probably sound. But it doesn't have a fact checker inside. It doesn't have a moment of doubt. It just generates the most pattern-appropriate answer. And sometimes that answer is confidently, fluently wrong. In the AI world, this is called a hallucination. The model produced something plausible sounding that isn't real. So the rule is simple. Anything where being wrong matters. A date, a law, a medical fact, someone's biography, you verify it. Use ChatGPT as a brilliant first draft, not as the final word. So here's the practical payoff. First, stop expecting ChatGPT to know things the way Google does. Google looks up answers. ChatGPT generates them from patterns. Both are useful, but they're different tools. For recent news or specific facts, verify. For drafting, brainstorming, and explaining, it's extraordinary. Second, give it more context. The more your question sounds like questions it's seen before, the better the answer. Instead of "help me write an email," try "help me write a polite but firm email to a contractor who missed a deadline." You're not teaching it anything new. You're pointing it toward the right pattern library. Third, treat every answer like a smart first draft. Not gospel, not garbage. A really smart starting point that you check, adjust, and own. A chef doesn't just eat whatever their apprentice plates. They taste it first. You're the chef. ChatGPT is the very well-read apprentice. Use it that way, and it becomes genuinely powerful. You now understand something most ChatGPT users don't. You're welcome. If this made AI feel less mysterious, hit subscribe. We do this every week. Next time, why AI chatbots have a memory problem and how to work around it. See you then.